So we were talking a little bit about representation, and obviously, at Sundance last year, there was a big march. Trump had just been inaugurated. It's a year later. I know there's going to be another women's march, and we're in the midst of Time's Up, a lot of political discussion happening in Hollywood. How do you guys feel about being at Sundance right now and being a part of the film industry, which is sort of going through a reckoning?
Well, last night, me and Sasha, when we saw the movie, we were like, oh, whoa, I needed this and did not know it. Because like you were saying about watching all of these tragedies and watching these movies that, yes, they are a reflection of the pain that we're all experiencing. It's nice to just have this movie that fills this void, I think, that we all have. Specifically if you're living in America and you look like us and you love like us. And it just feels good. It's the first time that I've cried watching, not just watching myself, that'd be weird, but watching a movie that I'm in, where I'm having this like outer body experience of holy fuck, I'm watching two brown queer girls right now, and on top of that, this storyline is not centered around that. It's centered around all of these amazing, lovely, flawed individuals that we all deeply fall in love with. And it makes you feel hopeful and makes you feel good and warm. You know, we come here and we are not required, but it is our obligation when you have a platform to speak about things like Time's Up and to be a reflection of the times. Yeah. But it's also, I think, our duty to know when to bring joy and to allow people the freedom to sit down and not think about how ignorant our president is or how, yeah. I can't keep talking or I'm going to cry, so I'm going to stop. But, yeah.
And I think the idea behind to just continue what Kiersey is saying, I think we have to be reminded in these times, right, I believe, as a filmmaker, as a storyteller, someone with a platform, of the small pleasures that happen to also be the biggest pleasures of life. We can get lost in our Twitter feed of rage. And there's a lot to be angry about right now. I don't care what side of the coin you're on, everybody's angry. And we're very divided. But the one thing that we all have is our relationships with one another. The ones in our lives that mean something. They get us through. I know that my relationship with my loved ones gets me through. My friends, my wife, my family, my coworkers. That's what gets me through it. So I try to make movies about that. And to hopefully remind you as an audience that those are still in your life and to enjoy that. I think we all still have a lot of joy and a lot of good things. We just sometimes forget that they're right under our nose. So that's also, I just wanted to add on to that. It's not to say that these things are not important. They're super important. It's a fight. We're all in it together. But I also believe in the reminder of the everyday pleasures of ordinary life.
Ted, I saw you were going to chime in earlier on that.
Yeah, I think it's an exciting time, a hopeful time. I think I heard somebody say that it's not just enough for men to listen. They do need to talk as well, and we do need to reach out and go, help me with this, you know. And I think the same thing is true in politics. I think that we have become so divided that we don't go talk to those people who we dislike or think are stupid or disagree with or whatever. But if you genuinely talk, not about politics, but about things you care about, there really truly are things that bind us together. And I see people starting to do that more, even though it's a scary time and we have a scary leader and all of that. I think it's forced us to reach out and not sit back and say, oh, I'll call my friend tomorrow. You call your friend right now. Yeah. You hug that person right now. You go make yourself uncomfortable by talking to somebody you wouldn't necessarily talk to. You know, there's a kind of an urgency to reaching out that I think is positive, because I think we got a little lazy.
I like that. And Blythe, how do you think it's very different? You came up in this industry, you've been in it for many years, and
Yes.
your daughter has been a big part of this movement too, the
Yes,
Me Too movement.
yes,
How do you think it would be different if you were coming up as an actress today?
Well, nobody ever came on to me, so I felt something was wrong with me. No, I don't mean to be silly about it, but I think, just to go into a bit from what Ted said, someone said in one of the political groups I belong to, you've got to force yourself to watch Fox News. And I tried so hard, but I almost went through the TV set. It was so difficult.